Let's see if I chase it. Oh, this was my big mistake. 1100 watts. What am I doing? Hey, what's up guys? It's Claudio here, and we have another Criterium race video. This is the MAC, the MAC, I don't know, in South Carolina, Rock Hill. It is in this huge complex. This is really unique. It's a course that is built just for crit racing. Like, this course is for racing. They built it. It's unbelievable. I can't believe that such a thing exists. And somewhere on the other side, there's a BMX whole circuit. There's a pump track. I think there's a velodrome. I didn't see that. On the same complex, there's also mountain bike trails. I mean, I think it's the only place on earth that has all these different disciplines in one place. So it's insane. All right, so this is the first lap. There's no neutral lap, so we're in it. And we have a downhill you're seeing right here, which then turns into an uphill naturally, and a nice little kicker. And I'm just trying to fill this out. I'm feeling out the people. I've never raced here. I was excited, I was nervous, didn't know what to expect about the competition. So if you guys are not subscribed, feel free to subscribe for more content like this. I've got a bunch of videos coming up. I raced the 3-4 race right after this one. Not right after, there's an hour in between. But I raced that, and that was hard and awesome. And then I have more race videos coming up. I've got a video all on TrainerRoad, and I got a video on my bike. I'm doing a whole bike review. So let's get right into it. These are my stats. If you don't know, my FTP is about 4.1 watts per kilo, 280 watts. Max heart rate is 192. And I talk about my max heart rate because it puts things in perspective, right? If you see me at 171, that's kind of on my threshold. That's starting to get into my threshold heart rate. It hurts. Anything above 175, I'm hurting. Anything in 180s, I'm really hurting. And if you see me go into 192 or 190, somewhere around there, that better be the last like 50 meters of a race, because I'm done if I hit anywhere near 190. So that's why I talk about it. That's why I say that, and just put things into perspective. I train on TrainerRoad about 10 to 12 hours a week, and I just finished the specialty phase, which is a rolling race. I picked the rolling race specialty phase. It was great. And now I've been cherry picking workouts throughout, just because I had like 2 weeks of these last races, so I'm just kind of picking workouts that I think would be productive for the week of racing, right? I don't know what you guys are doing out there before races. It's very tempting to just like taper right before every race. You know what I mean? Some of these races, I think this race I went into it like, whatever, I'm gonna work out throughout the week. I'm not really gonna taper, even though I didn't do a workout right before. I mean, you shouldn't do a workout before the day that you do 2 races in one day, right? So I took a rest on Friday, the day before, and but I was working out. I did threshold intervals. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later, the week of this race. And but it's tempting to not train, to taper, so you can be fresh for every race, but then you kind of lose some training, right? But anyways, I went into this race. I was super excited. I didn't know anybody. A big thing that I noticed, which is kind of shocking, is that the teams here at this race, they were happening. They were doing teamwork. They were out there making people hurt. And I was not aware of the teams while I was racing. I didn't think to I mean, I kind of was trying to spot them, but usually in the 4 or 5 races that I do, the teams don't do anything because they're all just struggling to survive. I mean, people in the 4 or 5 categories usually they're just trying to survive. It's rare to see teams that are doing actual tactics. So this team is the team that was doing the most was that team that just went up. They have I don't know what they're called, but they have an orange, neon yellow stripe. And you see the rider right behind me. He's on that team and he's blocking. He should be at the front to do it the most effective. To be the most effective, you should be at the front, but he's not. But he's still blocking. He's not going to chase his teammate down. So people who want to go up, they need to go around him, and it creates a gap. It's easier for their teammate to get out of there, right? To create a big gap. And they were doing this all race long. And then once we caught them, I guess they switched, and the person that was blocking then gets to attack. I don't know exactly. I didn't keep track of the exact people on the team, but I know that there were 3 of them, and I think there was one that was maybe reserved for sprinting. At this race, I was just in there, feeling out the first race. I was nervous, and I knew that I wanted to ride towards the front to just make sure that I was in the race. I really did not want to get dropped. I drove 2.5 hours from Chapel Hill, North Carolina, where I'm staying. That's where my mom lives. And I woke up at 3:30 in the morning, so I was not about to get dropped at this race. So I'm here, I'm just sitting in, but I'm at the front. I want to be at the front. I want to be involved. But I don't want to take huge pulls. I'm waiting for people to fill in and to surf wheels. I did make a couple, I burned a few matches that I shouldn't have, and I was really kind of kicking myself for that. I felt good going into the race. So when you're feeling good, it's it's easy to just close the gap on your own, right? But you pay for that. You really pay for that later on. I don't recommend that if you're a new kind of rider, a beginner. If you're a beginner, sit in. Try to sit in mid-pack, but don't get caught in attacks. It's really hard to recover from an attack, from covering an attack, right? So if you go off the front, you're basically sprinting. Well, here is a teammate blocking. He's blocking. Blocking means that he's not going very fast. He's going 20, 21 miles an hour. Everybody in the group is like, cool, that guy's pulling, but no, he's blocking. And check this out. The guy in second wheel, he sees that. He maybe said something to him. I don't know what he said. But, that's not going to work. He was onto him. That guy in second wheel, he won some kind of podium. So he knows what's happening. But that's what teams do. They go to the front, they block. They don't really block in that sense of some kind of linebacker or something like that. But they just sit there and they create the illusion that they're pulling, that they're creating speed, but they're really not, because the person up the field in a solo break or in the breakaway is actually, he should be going 2 or 3 miles an hour faster than the blocker's speed, and that gives him that advantage, right, to create a big gap. So a lot of that, and I was not used to it. I was not used to keeping track of that. Your brain needs to go into this mode of okay, tactics, what's happening, who's at the front, what are the teams, and I'm not used to that because I'm just, up until this point, I've just been surviving races. I don't care what teams are doing what. I'm just trying not to die here, right? But now I'm catching on to all this stuff. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see, to have the fitness to be more into tactics. Definitely next year, I think I'll be at that level where I'm really catching on to the moves and studying the field and knowing who's who and really racing my bike instead of just trying not to get dropped. This guy here that's pulling right now at the front, he's super strong. I didn't know this. Somebody flagged him down for me, and another rider that was giving me some good tips. And he said, this guy's super strong, watch out for him. So the super strong guy, he actually won. And you'll see that towards the end. So he was having none of this, and he closed that. He closed the gap. The guy on the second wheel went up with him. And honestly, if they had kept going, they would have gotten away. You see my effort right there up that hill, 185 BPM. My heart rate hurts. My legs are hurting. I'm hurting. I can't close this gap. Luckily, they're not getting away. They're slowing down, and I can recover. But this right now, I am hurting. You can see, I can't do any watts, and they're slowing down, and we get back on. No big deal. Easily could have been a breakaway, but it's early in the race. I don't know if they wanted to suffer that much. So I'm in there. I'm doing a good job. I'm trying to stay sheltered and not really do too much. But again, I'm feeling out this race. I remember the feeling of just hang on, man. I'm so used to getting dropped. I'm like, just hang on, whatever. Do what you need to do to hang on. Don't worry about saving yourself. I didn't have that mentality going into this race. We had some riders. We had an interesting group. Some vocal riders, very vocal riders. Saying a thing or two, but nothing like New York, man. Forget it. These guys are nice. In the South, there's some good people here. I mean, we're all good people, but they are, generally speaking, it's nice. They're all very nice. So, this team, I'm looking out for the teams now. There they are. Okay, and in this downhill, what happens is I carry a lot of momentum. I think it's because my wheels, I got kind of heavy aero wheels, these 60 millimeter wheels. And once you get up to speed on those things, you can really carry some momentum. And I didn't want to brake on the downhill. It's stupid to brake on a downhill. Why would you do that, right? So I was avoiding that by swerving off to the side and then, keeping my momentum and going past people, kind of going in the wind. Some people don't like that. They don't like riding behind someone that is like swerving around. I get that. But I had to do that. I'm not going to brake on a downhill. So just kind of, you got to be on the lookout. Some people just carry more momentum because of maybe they're a little bit more aero or whatever, or they're heavier. So that's definitely a thing to watch out. Just don't use your brakes on the downhill. It makes no sense, right? Unless, something about positioning, I don't know. All right, we are here 5 laps in. I'm gonna comment, through let's say through this, up until this time in the video, and then I'm gonna come back at, at this time of the video. So I'm not gonna comment through the whole thing. What else have I been doing? TrainerRoad has been great. This is the workout that I did. Check it out. This is the workout that I did 2-3 days before this race. Mount Alyeska, +1, an hour and 15 minutes. And it is, what is it? 8 times 4 minutes at threshold, a little bit above threshold. So those blocks are 294 watts. 4 minutes at 294 watts, then 4 minutes off, and you do that. It's just a good old threshold workout, a little bit above threshold, right? So it's painful, but it's it's great for working on that threshold, to be able to sustain and get used to that, to being that uncomfortable. All right, so we have the team here. I'm not sure if he's blocking, if there's his teammate is up the road. Actually, I just missed that. I can't see him. I'm looking with you guys. He doesn't want to chase that. It's fine. Let's see if I chase it. Oh, this was my big mistake. 1100 watts? What am I doing? Why? I felt good, that's why. And this guy just passes me like, I just did 1100 watts and people are still passing me. Come on. And now I'm in the red. I was paying for this the whole race. And look at me go backwards. I'm just gonna start to go backwards. 184 BPM on my heart rate. Going backwards. I am getting cooked. I'm really regretting that. There was no reason. It got brought back. And still going backwards. And I'm pretty much at the back, and then there's a little gap now in front of me. And I'm scared. I don't want to get dropped. Luckily, these things, like the attacks that happen in these races, they're like 20, 30 seconds, because nobody can just go off. I mean, there's one guy that can go off. But most people in these categories, they can't go off for, and then do like a sprint like that and then sustain. So they slow down. I'm trying to close this gap. I need to close this gap. And believe me, I am suffering. I was like, why did I do that? I'm still not, I mean, look at this. This is like danger. This is how people get dropped. And I put in another dig because I just got to close this. I got to get in there. And that was painful. So back to the group, contact. The whole race was like this, a bunch of surging. And you had to be careful of where you spent your energy, because if they had surged again, if somebody had counterattacked, I would have been dead. That's it, game over. Race is over. There's no need for that. In that match, that was basically my final sprint right there. 1100 watts, I've never been able to do 1100 watts on a final sprint. Usually I get to the finish line, I'm doing like 600 watts, all right? Because I'm just so wasted. And the downhill, okay, I'm recovering. So, by the way, guys, if you follow me on Instagram, I post all my workouts, everything that I do cycling. Feel free to follow me, Claudio_Fierro, and you can see how I'm training. I'm gonna do a lot of base training pretty soon. After this week of cycling, of racing, basically starting October. October will start my base training, so I'm gonna do all the sweet spot stuff on TrainerRoad. And I'm just gonna work my way through the whole program. The base training is, I believe, 12 weeks. And that hurts. It's a slow burn. If you've never done sweet spot base training, it's like kind of below your threshold, like, I don't know, 20 watts or so. And you have these long intervals, like 10, 15, 20-minute intervals at this wattage of like, 230, 240, 250 watts for me. And it's a slow burn. And you can't watch TV because you can't focus on it. You can't watch movies. You can't focus at that. I can't do that. I can only watch TV and movies on a trainer if I'm doing zone 2, so just endurance. I can't do zone 3 or above and watch something because I just won't be able to focus on I won't know what's happening in the movie or whatever. Music is okay, but generally, I don't even listen to music. I just suffer. And I'm definitely a trainer, an indoor trainer guy. I love it. I love indoor training. It's so convenient. It's so efficient. Like I know some people hate it. I know some people that are super strong and they've never been on a trainer. They just ride. I don't know how. If they have the time to go out, cool. I love how easy it is for me to get on there and start working. And you can do an hour, hour and a half on a trainer if it's structured training. It'll be mapped out for you, like any kind of program. You know, TrainerRoad Zwift has also those kinds of programs built in, those workouts. You just do the thing that it says to do on your screen, and you're good. And you're making gains, as long as it's, you know, some kind of progression throughout your workouts. And that's so efficient. When I go to the park, Prospect Park here in Brooklyn, and I ride, it changes because it could be anything. Like, it depends who I meet. You know, sometimes I see people and they want to do some sprints and they want to do some long rides, and then I kind of go on, I want to hang out and ride with people, and then my whole workout, you know, is out the window because I just want to ride and hang out, right? So that's the difficulty of doing that. You just got to be more disciplined about it, right? Indoor training, super into it. In the winter, I'm like, that's all I do. January, February in New York, it's so hard to go outside. But anyways, I have that video coming up on TrainerRoad 1 year. I'm gonna go through all of my FTP gains throughout the whole cycle, and I'm gonna talk about which plans I did. It's mostly gonna be like me showing you the data, and because I like it. I like everything. I like their podcast. I'm kind of sold, right? I did try Zwift workouts. I like Zwift for racing, and I like the whole environment of Zwift. I think it's really cool. It's like a video game. But anyways, I'll talk all about that in that video, and my setup and everything. So guys, I'm gonna stop talking right now, and I'm gonna come back in a little bit, and we're gonna finish out the race. All right, I'll see you soon. All right, so we are towards the end of the race here. A few laps left. You're gonna see the winning move right here, right now. You can see it fans out and slowing down to about 20 miles an hour. And the guy's smart. The guy comes from the back. He sees that we're slowing down, and bam. Perfect opportunity. This guy's super strong. He's like some kind of Iron Man something. He's got that high endurance. And I don't know what I'm doing here. Like, what am I thinking that I'm gonna bridge up to him? Yeah, right. So I think now this is my chance, trying to hop on this guy's wheel. He's motivated, but I can't. I didn't go hard enough. And now I'm in the middle of nothing here, you know, no man's land, catching the wind and high heart rate. I'm in danger here. I should back off, and I do. Good. I see there's no point. And I'm also probably feeling awful. So I'm just waiting for the group to come back and hop back in. I can't catch that guy. I can't catch any of them. It's so hard to do a sprint and sustain. That's a very important skill to have, but I don't have that yet. Sprint, 800 watts, 10 seconds, 5-10 seconds, and then sustain a little bit above threshold. Like for me, that would be like 300 watts, 310 watts, and do that for 3 minutes. That's what it would take to get away. And then sustain threshold. But my threshold is not high enough to get me fast enough to stay away. I think maybe in this course it'll get me at like, I don't know, maybe 25 miles an hour, 20, maybe. I'm doing threshold. You need to be up in the 26, 27 to stay away consistently. So we are in the hill, and the group has gotten smaller. We dropped some riders. I'm hurting. I'm just, at this point, like so many attacks, so many surges. I mean, I don't even know what to do here. Like, who am I following? I can tell, you can tell I'm riding sloppy. It's because I'm tired, I'm burnt out, and this gap is dangerous. You can see I'm starting to like, oh no. I'm putting a dig here. That's what I do. When I get, I'm about to burn out, I can't sustain threshold. I can only burst like for a few seconds, and then I need to recover like at 100 watts. And this gap is very dangerous. I can't close it. And check it out. The guy, he pushes me. He's another viewer. He's a viewer, a subscriber. He gave me a nice little push. He watches the videos. He knew I was hurting, and he gave me that push. Thank you. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I needed that push. I needed to close that, because if they had attacked, goodbye. Very nice of them. Very nice here in South Carolina. I don't think that people do that in New York. Maybe they'd like push you out of the way, but not like, I've never seen anybody push forward, like, give them a helping hand or anything like that. Who knows, maybe, hopefully. So contact with the group, I mean, I'm spent. I'm totally spent. I just want to coast. There's a guy up the road. Maybe two. I think the other guy, no, he's still, you can see him. He's there in the white kit. And we're chasing him down. Don't think he's gonna make it. But I think a lot of people are like, let that guy go, the solo brake guy, the strong Ironman rider. And we'll just ride for second or third. So in the downhill, it's nice. It's a good recovery. It gets you ready for that uphill, which is not a terrible uphill, but it's you can get dropped if you're not on top of it. If somebody attacks on the uphill, it is going to it's going to put the hurt on the field. Like this. You know, I had to do 700 to go up to 700 watts here to stay with it, and it's a struggle. And once you get into the headwind, that's going to just really drain you. Really hard. You see how I'm just bursting? I can't just do a sustained effort at this point. Once my legs are gone, I just race in bursts. And I'm sure it's like super annoying to follow my wheel when I'm riding like that. I'm like coasting, bursting, coasting, bursting. I'm just, I can't, it's really hard to do a sustained effort at the end of a race when you've done so much with your legs. You've already spent like, you know, this guy's, I'm not going in the wind, bro. I'm dead. I'm like, bro, really? I'm barely hanging on. I'm not going up there. So, coming up, a couple laps left to go. And let's see what else we're doing. Just seeking some shelter, trying to stay alive. And I'm getting these little gaps that are annoying the hell out of me. And I'm just trying to get really in contact. But people just slow down suddenly. You see that? Because they want to be out of the wind. It happens a lot. You'll get people that pull, and then it'll slow down to 20 miles an hour. Then it'll be an attack. I don't think anybody's going to attack, 2 laps left. I think at this point, people are just saving themselves for the sprint. Because we're competing for second, right? Yeah, we still got the second and third place. And it's starting to ramp up. People are tasting the podium. And I'm still in there. Wow, my heart rate is really recovered. But believe me, my legs are not. I have huge holes in my quads from that stupid 1100 watt pointless sprint that I did in the middle of the race. That was my final sprint. It's gone. Not getting it back, no matter how low my heart rate is going to be. That was just my one match, and I learned my lesson. You see what I mean? Things just slow down. It's just surging and then slowing down. Surging, slowing down. People can't just surge all day, all night. I mean, like individual riders. The teams, they're not blocking anymore. It's just kind of all over the place. Although there goes the team. Actually, they're doing it right now. What am I saying? The teammate up front is blocking, and then his teammate just went up. Textbook team move. You see the guy in the yellow neon, he's off to the right now, but he was blocking, and his teammate went up, and I believe he got away. I think he might have gotten away. I think he got second. Let's see. Forgot. And now, because there was such a huge gap, nobody's really motivated to close that gap because it's going to burn the whole sprint right there. So you can either burn your sprint trying to bridge up to this guy, this attack, or just settle for third place, for the third place sprint, right? Is this final lap? Final lap! Final lap, and there are 2 people up the road. And things are getting good here. Nobody's chasing down the rider of this team in the neon. the neon stripe. And guys, the vibe of the last lap is always just like really nervous. People are all over the place. People are looking over their shoulders constantly. They don't know when the attack is coming, who's going to attack, who's going to go early, who's going to wait for the field sprint. There's always somebody who wants to go early. There's always, somebody sitting in, a few people, the sprinters, that some of them have been just sitting in the whole race, saving themselves for the last 200 meters. I know that I need to get up. I know I need to get up there. The last 2 or 3 corners, the turns here, they need to be, I need to be at the front. So I have to put this effort here just to stay towards the front. So many matches being burnt on the last lap just to stay in position. It's so hard. That's why it's so hard. You gotta have like almost unlimited matches, or you gotta be really good at keeping track of them. I'm just a couple turns away, and I'm sitting in, and boom, this guy goes. I was right on his wheel, but I couldn't catch it. I didn't see, I just didn't anticipate that. And there's no way I could snap like that. That guy had some real power. But I do kind of snap, and I gap the people behind me. I can't catch this guy. We got people on my tail, and I see this guy coming up, and I have to grab him. I have to. I'm doing everything I can to grab him. Sort of I am. So barely in his slipstream, but he gets away. And this is the last straightaway right here. People start putting down the power. I put up 600, not even 700 watts. That's all I had. And that is it. That's the race. I finished, 9th out of 23, top 10, I'll take that. That was hard. That was so hard. If you see me at the end and only being able to do 600 watts, that was hard. I wasted my legs there. Guys, thank you so much for watching. More videos coming soon. Great to meet all you guys in South Carolina and North Carolina. I'll see you guys out there. Peace.